I remember the night in fragments, like shards of a broken mirror. The living room smelled faintly of wine and burnt toast. My fiancée laughed at something. I don't even remember what, but my brother's voice cut through, soft but deliberate, claiming a story that rewrote my reality. I had cheated. My mother said nothing to question it, she only shook her head and said, "She was never meant for you anyway." I didn't respond. I didn't argue. I left. The driveway was cold, frost had settled thin and sharp. The echo of the front door closing followed me down the street, like a sentence being carried into the dark. I didn't look back. I didn't pack much, just what I could carry in a backpack. My disappearance was absolute, silent, a severing without fanfare or justification. The years that followed were quiet. In a new city, I became unremarkable to strangers, yet methodical in my work, deliberate in my small victories. I learned to exist without their validation. My apartment was neat, functional, my routine precise. Every promotion, every incremental raise, every carefully saved dollar became a quiet assertion of self-worth, a private ledger of dignity that required no audience. I didn't seek revenge. Not really. I didn't plot or scheme. I simply moved through the world with a kind of restrained determination. When invitations from home arrived, birthdays, graduations, holidays, I mostly ignored them. Occasionally, I read them, felt a flicker of curiosity, then crumpled the envelopes or left the emails unread. The past was a weight I carried lightly, a ghost that didn't command attention. Until the reunion, I debated attending. Part of me wanted to see them stumble through life's awkwardness, just a little. Part of me wanted to measure how much had really changed, or if nothing had at all. I rehearsed nothing. I did not plan a grand entrance, but I wanted to arrive in a state that reflected who I had become. Not boasting, not flaunting, just clear and unassailable, competent, composed, in control. The car waited outside, sleek, unfussy, expensive. A subtle, quiet statement of presence rather than spectacle. I drove slowly through familiar streets, streets I had once felt trapped in, and I felt the old tension loosen slightly. The bitterness that once tightened my chest now tempered by distance and self-possession. 2 blocks from the reunion, I noticed smoke curling from the hood of their car, old, battered, fumbling along the curb. My brother was at the wheel, flustered. My mother hovered nervously, trying to coax it to life. They waved to me as I passed, but not with the casual ease of family. There was tension there, embarrassment, recognition that the world had shifted under their feet while they had stayed the same. I parked, stepped out, and walked the remaining distance. The reunion had already started. The chatter inside was warm and unpolished. People laughed at small, inconsequential things. My presence added a quiet disruption, a subtle realignment of attention. No one asked me where I had been all these years. I didn't volunteer the information. My brother noticed me first. His smile faltered slightly, he tried to nod, to reclaim some version of authority, but it didn't land. The old dynamics, the ones he assumed had cemented themselves, felt brittle now. He searched for a way to assert control, but every glance at me reminded him that the terrain had shifted. I was calm, unshakable, present, but uninvested in conflict. I greeted my mother briefly. She gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Perhaps she wondered if I had returned to challenge her judgment, to demand apology, or to reconcile. I gave her nothing more than a nod. My presence, measured and composed, was enough. The reunion continued around me. My brother fussed over seating, tried to draw attention to trivial achievements, tried, in small ways, to reassert the hierarchy that had once existed, but the breakdown of their car 2 blocks away had already done its work. Authority had intervened in a concrete, undeniable way, and they were late because of it. In that delay, the imbalance had shifted quietly but clearly. I sat at a table, watching them maneuver socially, flustered, slightly off kilter, and I felt a calm satisfaction that required no applause. It was not revenge, it was simple acknowledgement I had rebuilt, quietly, efficiently, irreversibly. My dignity was intact. My life had moved forward while they struggled to catch up. The evening ended without fanfare. There were no speeches, no dramatic confrontations, no moral declarations. Just the soft hum of conversation, the clinking of glasses, and the unspoken recognition of the shift in dynamics. I left before dessert, letting my absence punctuate the night more than any words could. Walking back to my car, I noticed the streetlights catching the frost in the cracks of the pavement. The air was crisp, almost cleansing. My past had been acknowledged, indirectly and silently. My victory, such as it was quiet and complete. Authority had asserted itself through circumstance, control had shifted in a subtle, undeniable way. And I had maintained composure without needing spectacle. I started the engine. The street was empty. Ahead, the night stretched open, unclaimed, and I drove.